Hello, my name's Alan Foom, and today I'm going to talk about seasons of value creation and hydrocarbon exploration. Now, the oil and gas business, like most natural resource business, is very seasonal. It has a cyclicity, which can last several years. And within that, we have four basic seasons: winter, spring, summer, and autumn. And then we go back to winter again. So I'm going to talk about exploration in each one of these seasons and how it can both add and destroy value. So winter, we'll start off in winter. Oil and gas prices are very low. Slow expenditure on exploration, the budgets are cut to the bone. Only wells that are committed as part of an oil exploration contract are drilled, so you'll only drill wells which you've already signed up to, which you cannot get out of. Very low prices for the contractors, and they struggle due to low activity levels. Rigs are stacked, boats are stacked for surveys, loads of people are laid off. Very tough time for everybody. And countries, particularly ones which are dependent on hydrocarbon exploration, tend to try to offer the best terms possible to attract whatever activity they can get. Declining company resource base, as emphasis is made on production and perhaps existing developments, the future is sacrificed to the present because that's what you need to do to survive. And oil and gas exploration is seen as risky and a mug's game, so it's not somewhere where conventional wisdom wants to be. But this is not the whole story. So this is one of my favorite paintings. So when I was a child, when I was growing up in Russia, there was a painting in the Tretyakov Gallery by Alexei Savrasov, which is Grachi Vernulis, or The Rooks Are Returning. And this signifies a thaw, which is for Russians a very big part of the year because the bleak winter is over, spring is coming. And in oil exploration during a thaw, the leadership realize of a company that the resource base needs replenishment. New ideas of prospects and plays come forward, and the low cost is seen as an opportunity to invest. So forward-thinking companies who also happen to have reasonable financial resources can use this as an opportunity to grow. So after winter comes spring. Enterprises, companies who have financial resources can take advantage of the low prices to secure new licenses on good terms, develop a sound exploration program, and drill wells and acquire seismic at low cost because the contractors are grateful for the revenue. And some of these wells might lead to significant discoveries in new plays. So for example, during the last downturn, Exxon went into Guyana with their partners Apache and Hess and found some very significant discoveries. And the reserves addition that do take place will be from those very big discoveries. And this could be where you can make the biggest value creation if you A, have the resources, B, have the guts, and C, have the brain power and the geologists to come up with ideas and to execute them. So some lovely spring flowers there. And when things warm up, you get the cherry blossom, leadership gain confidence and exploration success. Follower companies, who are now beginning to realize that their cupboards are getting a little bit bare, wish to replenish their portfolio, and exploration is seen as a route to growth. As people gain confidence, and mergers and acquisitions begin, which is where you can both gain and lose value. Then you're in the summer. Exploration is a key part of most companies because we've had success. You've had increased success rates, new ideas flourish, new technology flourishes. Significant reserves additions, but mainly from small discoveries towards the tail end of the spectrum, but they can give you quite a lot of value. There's more M&A activity as follower companies need to gain prime acreage. So if they got the money, if they got the resources, that's great for people who already hold them. You can create value still, but costs are beginning to rise, countries are offering tougher license terms, so you're beginning to get some clouds on the horizon. So exploration begins to be hyped. You've had success in country A, you go to country B, you're going to have success there, aren't you? Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, life isn't always like that. Successful companies begin to believe their own publicity. We've seen that with many people who I'm not going to mention, but it happens. And expectations start to rise above reality. People have had a string of successes. They think they're going to continue having successes. So the clouds of the summer begin on the horizon. And then you get into autumn. To some extent, not quite the worst of times. I'd say winter is the worst of times, but it's not pleasant. The leadership become isolated. They believe their own PR. They believe they become invincible. Geologists believe they're invincible. People drill more risky wells. Okay, some of them might work, but less QA, less QC, less reviewing. Most license awards with extensive upfront costs to beat the competition. If everyone's going for the same license, you have to outbid them, which is where you can lose money. More unwise farm-ins. Well, if you didn't win on the licensing round, you still need to have acreage, you still have the management driving you. Then you may make a farm-in, which is where you purchase acreage from somebody who's already existing holder. But that may not be the smartest thing to do, because the costs will be high, the rewards may not be commensurate with the costs. And costs for everything increase. Costs for rigs, costs for seismic boats, costs for everything, geologist salaries, services, the whole lot. And there's a drive to growth at all costs to deliver on promises to shareholders, to stakeholders. And this is when value begins to be destroyed. Eventually, this begins to catch up with you. Poor results overtake PR. Management start going into conflict. There's a loss of investor confidence. And this quite often coincides with a fall in the oil price. Now, a high oil price can mask quite a lot of this. A low oil price makes you very exposed. And as a result, there's a decline in exploration investment. And then you go back to winter. Back to the exploration as a mug's game. Back to the low activities. Back to the difficult times. But spring will eventually come. Winter is always followed by spring, is always followed by summer, is always followed by autumn, and then winter again. Now, in oil and gas exploration, the seasons don't have constant lengths, and they don't have constant severity. Some winters are very hard, and the current winter for us is very hard. Some springs can be short. Some springs can be cold, can be long, with intermittent bouts of frost. Summers can be brief, summers can be long, and autumns can also be long or short. But spring always follows winter. So, happy exploring.